Okay, guys, once again, we are here at KingFunko. Let's get ready to Funko. And today, we got the man, the myth, the legend, yes sir, Rebabo, from the 2003 remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Kemper's Kill, also known as The Lost Leatherface. Brett Wagner is here, my friend. Welcome, Brett Wagner. Welcome, Mr. Leatherface.
Thank you. Excited to be here at KingFunko out here in Wisconsin. Let's see what your damage is on these questions. Let's go.
Oh, man, yeah. So I got a couple of questions. I try to be a little creative. Usually I fly it on the wings of life. But however, I kind of had to put these down on paper because it's a very special occasion and event for ourselves. I love horror, been a horror fan since a kid. Now, one of the first question I'm going to start off is with the Leatherface character has a rich history in horror cinema. Do you draw inspiration from previous actors who portrayed Leatherface? And if so, how did you build upon or diverge from their portrayals?
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, so to play Leatherface, you have, when I did it in 2003, 20 years ago, it had already been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe 5 different, 5 other movies with different, Texas Chainsaw Massacre with guys playing Leatherface. So, yeah, you kind of take a little bit what you like out of all of them. And then when you get to the set, it's up to the director to tell you whether he likes what you're doing or doesn't like what you're doing. So definitely get inspiration from, Gunnar Hansen, R.A. Mihailoff, Bob Elmore, Bill Johnson, all those guys that have done it before. You definitely take a little bit of what they had and then try to put your own twist on
it. Culmination, a plethora of things. That's awesome, awesome. So Leatherface is often associated with disturbing scenes of violence. Can you share any behind-the-scene anecdotes or challenges you faced while filming those intense moments?
Yeah, so some of the challenges when you're in a costume and have a mask on and you have to get physical is, first of all, is seeing, and then the heat. In my 2003, I was so overloaded with clothes, and we're in the middle of July or August when we were shooting. I mean, I got heat stroke. Yeah. So that's one of the challenges right there. But whenever you're wearing a mask, whenever you have prosthetics on, your vision is cut down and definitely a lot harder to breathe. So,
oh, definitely.
Come hydrated.
Yeah, and we're glad you persevered that, and you're still here with us, blessing us with autograph showings, and currently doing another film or several films, and we'll talk more about that as well. The mask Leatherface wears is a significant part of his identity. How did wearing the mask impact your performance, and what did it feel like to take it off at the end of the day?
Oh gosh, man. How do you feel wearing that mask? I mean, it's awesome, right? I mean, when you're a kid and you're doing make-believe, it's always, I could be this superhero, I could be that. I always thought I could be Frankenstein. I could be the creature from the Black Lagoon. So getting to put a mask on, it's like, you totally get to be someone else, for a day, for a week, for a month. So it's definitely cool. At the end of the day, though, you definitely enjoy taking that mask off because it is hot, it is sweaty, it is grimy. And sometimes, I mean, Leatherface-wise wasn't that bad. And Scott Stoddard, who made the mask and did all that great stuff for that movie, he was real easy to work with, and the mask was not that bad. But after, 10 or 12 hours in a mask like this, you are spent.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine. Mask off, and I don't mean future. All right, guys. Leatherface's family plays a crucial role in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. What was it like working with your co-stars, and I, for one, am going to put like Jessica Biel, and building that dysfunctional family dynamic on set?
Well, as you must have forgotten, that I got hurt. So the only guy that I really got to work with was Eric Balfour, who was Kemper, who was great. Eric Balfour, who was an actor, was in 6 Feet Under, which was one of my favorite shows watching. So I was excited to work with him. And one of the things is when I hit him with my sledgehammer, one of the cool things, a little behind the scenes deal, was that he kept saying, "Hit me harder, hit me harder." Now, yes, it's a prop sledgehammer, but I mean, I hit him a couple times really good right in the square of his back and heard him, the breath go out of him here for a second. But if the other actor's asking for it, you give it to him.
Hey, you want that authenticity to almost be when he goes oomph. You want it to almost be
As long as it doesn't hurt him, yes.
Exactly. The horror genre has a dedicated fan base. How have interactions with fans of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series influenced your perception of Leatherface and the impact of the character on popular horror culture?
Oh man, I mean, the character Leatherface, the fans have really dug it. I mean, if Gunnar Hansen 50 years ago, next year, 2024, will be the 50th anniversary of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He was really like one of the first serial killers in the business, and he was so brutal. So just being able to play that, even for a week, play that part for a couple days on the set, and then to see the fans' reactions when you get to go do conventions or you do an in-store like we're doing, today at KingFunko, it's pretty cool. It's nice to see someone smile and go, "Oh my gosh, you scared me growing up, and now I can't watch movies." So yeah, it's always fun.
And that's awesome. I can relate that because to us, one of the reasons we collect Funko Pop, we started with the horrors of the Marvels, is because they provide what I call a butterfly effect. So it's always good to transport somebody mentally
Sure, it's
and
good
their mind.
memories, right? You're going back to when you were a kid, when everything was just easy, when everything was fun, when you
Yeah.
got so excited. I mean, I still get excited to go see movies,
Right.
but certain movies, it's just like when I meet certain actors when I'm doing when I'm at a convention or whatnot, that somebody that I grew up watching, it brings you back to that moment when you were 10 or 12 years old, and that's always exciting.
Yes, sir, Rebabo. So Leatherface has been a source of inspiration for various adaptations and pop culture references. Can you share any surprising or unusual instances where you've encountered Leatherfaces?
Well, let me think about that. I mean, it's definitely influenced a lot of people. There's definitely a lot of, especially in the movie making, where Leatherface, that character, has been spun off a little bit, and people have done their own takes on it. Thank goodness I've never met any real serial killers
That we know of,
that I
right?
know of. That I know of. So,
There's a.
but yeah, that's listen, you have a Mount Rushmore of horror characters that you want to say from the 80s on. You got your Leatherface, your Michael Myers, your Jason, and your Freddy Kruegers.
Yes, you do.
And then you can go back. You can go back to, the Universal monsters and the Frankensteins, the creature from the Black Lagoon, the Dracula, the Wolfmans. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that have kind of taken liberties with Leatherface and made their own spin on it and done movies, which is similar. But
Yeah, definitely. Leatherface's mask is almost as famous as the character itself. Can you reveal any secrets about the creation or maintenance of the iconic mask during filming?
oh gosh, that is definitely a special effects guy. FXX guy did what he does. I mean, the silicone masks are great, and but they are definitely fragile. You got to take care of them. And all the mask makers out there, Scott Stoddard did ours, and he's one of the greats in the mask making business. And they're they're awesome. But I mean, I wish if he would have told me 20 years ago, I would have tried to take one of my masks, and I'm sure they probably all degraded by now. But every once in a while, you'll see something come up for auction that's from a movie or something that's maybe one of the real Leatherface masks from 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5. So those things are hard to get, but yeah, they're iconic, man. I mean, would Leatherface be as good and as scary if he didn't have a mask? I don't know. I think the mask kind of, I mean, Gunnar Hansen did it, and everybody else has put their own spin on the character.
Right.
But that mask, I think that's what sells.
It definitely does. It adds to the allure of that horror impact.
Sure.
Um, you see things now, like Netflix is doing a new series, an adaptation. You got the game, you got board games, you got a wide plethora of things. But the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series has evolved over time. How do you see Leatherface's character fitting into the broader narrative of the series? And what unique elements did you, personally, even though you were just Kemper's Kill, what did you bring to Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Well, I think I think Leatherface is one of the guys that Netflix, 2 years ago did the remake with Mark Burnham, who's a
Mm-hmm.
great actor who got to play Leatherface in there. And they show a little bit of the how Leatherface would deal with the woke crowd, which was great. And in particular, there's a scene on the bus where everybody's pulling out their cameras as they do when something bad's about to happen. Instead of like, hey, maybe we should get out of here. They want to film it
Right.
and say, hey, you're gonna get canceled, you're gonna get fired, and then he tears everybody up. So, um, but yeah, so I think it just depends on what they do with the next movie. I think Leatherface, obviously they'll be able to do a whole bunch of more movies with him, and he'll endure the time. He's brutal,
I
right?
believe he
So
will.
we live in a brutal world.
I believe he will endure time.
We live in a brutal world, and I think Leatherface is perfect to get out there and do some justice. I think, will Leatherface always be this crazed, I'm just going to kill for the hell of it? No, I think that he's going to realize that, hey, even he's going to get tired of some of these woke people and take them out with the chainsaw.
That would be something incredible to watch. A Leatherface just going on a full onslaught to the woke ones. How about that?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun to look at. I don't know if they have it yet. They might have a cartoon series. If they don't, I would watch a cartoon series of the Leatherface.
That's not a bad cartoon series. Of Leatherface could be great.
Hey, they had Beetlejuice.
But Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D, they do show that Leatherface, Dan Yeager, who played Leatherface in there, had a bit of a heart somewhat, and justice was served. So if you haven't seen that movie, go watch it. You guys might see a little bit of what we're talking about.
Absolutely, absolutely. Leatherface is both terrifying and at times sympathetic. Although I don't think I've seen him sympathetic. Maybe I didn't read well into that. Can you discuss the psychological and emotional aspects of playing a character with such a complex range of emotions and motivation?
Gosh, wow. I mean, when you're delving into a character like that, I think it really depends on the script and how sympathetic he's going to be. But I think he's a brutal. I don't want to say he's mindless. Like he's just a brutal killing machine, like a shark is, a great white shark in a blood frenzy attack. But the guy has evolved to where he can be sympathetic, but he's still at the core of his heart is just a brutal. I love my family, and this is what I do.
Right.
So.
Right. Definitely. I hear that. The horror genre has its conventions and cliches. How did you and the filmmakers work to subvert or reinvent these conventions while maintaining the essence of the true Leatherface?
You might have to break that down to me.
So basically, you have the conventions, and then
so the horror movie conventions I go to.
Yes,
I love going to those. They're great. And then people, especially when a new movie comes out, like when the new Netflix Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out, it was a big deal. It's been a long time. Netflix, did a great job. The movie was great. The acting was great. But that all of a sudden causes quite a stir, and people want to see that cast. They want to meet those people. So therein lies, when you have the horror movie, sci-fi conventions, the Comic Cons, and all of a sudden that's a big deal. So, whoever gets these folks booked. Like next year's the 50th anniversary of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. And Creep Inland Empire, which is Creep IE, is a convention in Ontario, California. and they got everybody. They got all the people that are left that are still alive for this 50th anniversary deal, which is great, which is exciting. And you'll see a lot of that over next year. You're going to see a lot of. So it always goes back to, the original guys, and then it'll go through. But yeah, the conventions obviously are a big deal for the fans because you can watch the movie and love it, but you might never meet those people ever. And if you really want to meet them, you just got to see what conventions in your neck of the woods, what's going on, or if you're good to travel. I mean, there's so many good conventions to go to meet all the folks that you grew up watching and love.
There definitely is a bunch of them out there. The Queen and I hopefully wish to attend several in the next coming year, and hopefully, if the universe is willing, guide us into creating our own KingFunko conventions.
Yeah.
2 more questions, and then I'm going to ask you if you want to tell the people in YouTube world and whatnot nation and the KingFunko community about what you got going on and what's happening.
Let's go.
So the second to last question is Leatherface Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 has a distinct visual style. Can you talk about the collaboration with the director and the cinematography team in creating the film's unique atmosphere and aesthetics?
Gosh, you speak so well, so eloquently these questions. So Marcus Nispel is a tremendous director. Marcus Nispel brought in Daniel Pearl, the original guy that filmed 50 years ago the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So Scott Kozar, who wrote the script was so good, so violent and so unique. And then Marcus Nispel had a vision, and then he grabbed Daniel Pearl, which was great, who shot the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and brought him back in to shoot it. I mean, it's a masterpiece. So you would have to talk to those guys and see what their visions were, but you can see what it produced on camera and at the movie theater.
Well, we hope to come across and bring some of the originals, if the universe allows us to, and higher power to meet and greet those individuals as well. All right, this is the last and final question, and then we're gonna ask you to let us know what you got going on, what's coming on next year. I know you got a bunch of stuff going on. You've been traveling all over. So last but not least, beyond your role as Leatherface, what personal lessons or insights did you gain from your experience in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre that have influenced your career and life?
Wow. Well, I will tell you this. Just like any job, right? Acting's my job. You definitely want to be in tremendous shape when you film a movie, and you want to make sure because I got heat stroke right now. That day, should I have drank a bunch of Gatorades and everything? Yes. So because I got hurt on a set, now when I go film again, or even if I go hiking, let me tell you something. I stay hydrated. I make sure I'm in decent shape when I'm filming a movie. It's just when you get hurt on a major blockbuster of a movie that went on to do hundreds of millions of dollars, you learn a valuable lesson, right? Now you can either fold up shop and go, man, I ruined my only chance, or you can just keep going and go, there's gonna be more chances. So you never quit, especially in any business you're doing, whether it's you guys running your stores, or if it's me being an actor and a host. You keep moving on. You learn from your mistakes.
Absolutely.
And you just keep hustling, right? It's a constant hustle. You can hustle till you're dead. So hopefully that'll be another 20 years before I'm gone. So the hustle will keep going even into my 70s and 80s. But yeah, definitely be prepared for whatever business you're doing. And definitely if you're going to be if you're doing physical work on a movie set, you got to be super ready, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just like I tell individuals, I'm like, you can always get a job anywhere, anytime, but you'll never be able to get more time anytime. Once the time is gone, it's over.
That's it.
Now, you've been traveling a lot.
Yeah.
You've done a bunch of conventions this year, last year, every year, and you've persevered, you adapted and overcame. Let everyone know what you got going on, what's coming up, anything you're able to share that's, not non-disclosed. And if you want to add anything about the Writers Guild, and please let us know.
Yeah, so we've been on strike. The Writers Guild got on strike, I think 4 months ago. And then the actors, which my actors union, we went on strike too. And these folks we're fighting for stuff it needs to be fought for the future, for my future, for the people that come after me as far as actors and writers. And the Writers Guild, they finished their strike. They got the deal they needed, and hopefully next week us actors will be back to work again. Did a great movie called Desert Fiends with Sean C. Phillips, a director. Scout Taylor Compton's in it, Tom Arnold's in it, Robert Lasardo, Eric Roberts, and myself, and a whole bunch of cool guys. And it is going to be probably the grossest, funniest horror movie you've ever seen in your life. And that's saying a lot, because there are a lot of great funny horror movies out there that are gross to boot. But I have a feeling this is going to be hell of a doozy. So I'm excited about that. And then we probably are going to get a Desert Fiends 2, start filming in 2024. And with the writer's strike being over, who knows what's next, Midnight Maniac is a script I'm reading right now for a director and a producer I'm real excited about. Really good script. So Midnight Maniac maybe coming out in 2024. Definitely be shooting it next year. So yeah, it's just you can find Big Schwag, bigschwag.com, BIGSCHWAG. That's my alter ego when I was doing some pro wrestling and hosting some TV shows and being the voice of Monster Garage. Or Brett Wagner on Facebook. The Big Schwag on Instagram. You can find me and find out what's going on, and we should see you at a convention soon near you.
Yes, sir. Once again, we appreciate the Big Schwag, Lost, Leatherface, Kemper's Kill. We're excited here at KingFunko to have received you and continue on this day. And we are proud and most excited that not only that your light is shining, but it's being broadcasted not only national but international.
Yes.
I hear you got something going on in Europe next year?
I'm going to be at London Comic Con in July. I'm also going to be at Horror Scotland. I believe that's what it's called. So if you look, London Comic Con, July in Olympia, I believe that's what it's called. July 5th weekend in London in the UK. So come out and get some full Leatherface photo ops when we're in costume. And Horror Scotland, I'm pretty excited. Never been to Scotland. I believe that's in August. So you just got to keep looking. Follow me on the the Instagram and Facebook, Lost Leatherface on Facebook, and we'll see you at some point in some town, some state. Hey, maybe even Puerto Rico.
Yes, sir, Rebobble. You already know, Ski. We appreciate you coming in. We appreciate everybody, all the love and the support. This is the King saying, let's get ready to Funko.
That wasn't too bad question.
No, it was good. The questions were way too smart.
Yeah, you were yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
It was good. It was
those
good.
were
It was great.
straight.
You know what? I was going for different.
Those were straight.
We went for different, guys. We went for different, okay? All right. KingFunko. Yes, sir, Rebobble.
Oh, crazy. Good stuff, dog. Good stuff.